When the news has you confused and you can't understand what's going on, what the heck? Grab a deck for insight from Banshee and Oberon. It's WTF with TFT, WTF with TFT, WTF with TFT, let's go!
Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to TFT, Tarot for Today, Divine Dabblings with
Oberon.
and me, Banshee. Welcome to another episode of WTF with TFT.
What the is going on?
Yeah, I mean, it's not what's WTF about TFT. We're leading
Because we
you
could not answer that.
we could not answer that. But the question of the day for me is, and you, what WTF is going on with the U.S. as a nation? Is there still a healthy, functioning democracy, or is it on life support? And basically, I think some of these questions are just going to look at some of the issues we're facing right now and just see where this is leading us and making us feel about our democracy and why. Do you know why?
Go ahead.
Well, it's basically because so many people in the past, astrologers, everybody, have been looking at the health of our current leader in the White House. But, I think we need to look at the current health of our nation right now. And as a matter of fact, that's not to say we won't be looking at that leader's health again, but that will come at the end of May and early June.
I'm extremely grateful for you pulling these together, especially this one, because I think your instincts as a journalist are really very informing of the questions and of the process of moving through them when they're kind of refining or clarifying. So I really appreciate you doing this. I'm grateful to work with you on this. You're just so good.
Well, the thing is that there are so many things we could cover that we are not covering. So, keep that in mind. Do your own divination for you tarot readers and astrologers out there and see what you come up with.
If only we had more time and more resources.
Oh, wow, Mr. Emphasis on that. All right, let's go.
So we will start with our very first question.
And the first question is, what is at the heart of all that's going on right now? What are the motivations of the current U.S. administration? And we're going to throw 5 cards on that and see what we get. This is going to lead us off into some more interesting questions. And like I said, there's so much we could have done. But I think this is one important factor, and maybe the economy is an important factor because it's affecting everybody in the U.S. Well, and the world right now, too. The world is wondering WTF is going on with us as a country.
Right. We are still in the era where pretty much the U.S. is the main power of the world, or the main sense of direction in the world. Obviously, there are some strong contenders, but with all that going on, the world always wants to know what we're up to, what we're doing next. And as we go, so may go the fate of the world.
And this is why Bly is here, to remind us that the future, well, it can look bright. It can. All right. So we're going to lay out 5 cards. The first one is the 2 of Cups. The 6 of Swords. I may have to move those or figure it out. The King of Swords. Upright. They're all upright. Look at that.
You might have to overlap them a little.
The Four of Swords is the first reversal. I know, I'll fix it. And the Three of Cups is reversed as well. Wow. Well, this is an interesting mix of cards here. I think it reflects on the fact that people right now are really being loyal to the leader, the person in charge, the person who rules. They almost feel like his rule is law. And so they're all, hanging on to that, and they trust him. They trust him to put them in a better place. Many people still feel that this leader is putting us in a better place. So the motive of the administration is to keep propping the leader up because they feel they're getting something out of this. And I also feel here that there's a lot of energy towards maybe dividing people up on what's going on in, the country.
I tried to look at those first few cards from an alternative position, like maybe this isn't about so much what you said, but maybe it's about the undercurrent or the other side of that. And I can't really quite square that. I want to believe that maybe what's at the forefront of this are those things, but maybe in terms of trying to find a better leader or find a better way to remove ourselves from a troubling situation.
Well,
but I think it squares more likely with how you termed it.
Well, read the question. The question is about the motives of the administration, not what we're going to do about it, right?
Okay, you're right. I didn't take
that.
in that last part there. You're
really
right.
Pay attention to that, because the thing is, these are very positive cards, right? But so many of us on the other side is, and there are supporters. Clearly, there are supporters, and I'm not knocking that. But there's a lot of people who disagree. And this may, in fact, also speak to people who are disagreeing with what's going on in the administration right now. For example, we have heard rumblings that, of course, J.D. Vance has not been all in on the Iran war. He has many questions. He has many worries. And, of course, he's worried about his own run for the presidency. So there are people with their own motivations that may be dissenting. But for the most part, everybody is tying into what this leader wants to do and giving it to him and putting a lot of energy there.
Well, when you throw that Three of Cups there reversed, and you say, what's at the heart of this? What is their motivations? And maybe they want the party to be over. Maybe they want people to feel unhappy.
Yeah, I like that.
I sort of feel that's true, at least for the sense of their enemies or the people they don't feel that are with them.
Yeah, it's funny because, we do have this 3 reversed, but the 2 upright, which means, those that are loyal, that do what this leader wants is controlling the show right now. And there's a lot of, there is some dissent. There are some people upset. I don't know. I don't know. I think I'm going back to what I said.
The Four of Swords reversed there too indicates too that they feel they will be ascendant, that they will be the default, they will recover, they will, that nothing will stop them.
Well, and again, when you look at the 6 of Swords being here like this, I feel here that they feel they're getting, the motivation is what they're getting out of this. They're getting the peace of mind knowing that their agenda is being followed through. Maybe not totally in the way that they would like, but they're putting up with it because they're allowed to do a lot of the things, and they feel more safe, secure by following the leader than going against him. Maybe there's a lot of fear here about that. So, yeah. So they go along. They move along with it to keep the peace.
All right. That was pretty interesting.
It was a bit unexpected until I really thought about it. Question, and of course, other people will look at these cards as they see fit. So constructive input is always welcome.
Absolutely.
Question 2. checking the pulse rate of the U.S. economy. Is it speeding up, slowing down, skipping beats, or flatlining? And we're just going to throw 3 cards and get the feel of which way it's going. I think there's a lot of confusion right now. Some people have said, well, the stock market had been going up. Well, you see how much it flip-flops depending on where policy is going or being manipulated. You know, people have accused the government of manipulating the markets. People have also said we're not getting the true information on how bad the economy is. Is it? I guess we'll see what the cards say about
There
this.
could be threads or streams in the economy that have different energy and different sense of pacing and may have different effects. And so some people may see something else happening and they don't necessarily see other things happening. It may depend on where you are in the economy. Are you higher up in the economy or are you at the lower end of it?
All right. Did you shuffle?
I did. I guess you were supposed to shuffle first.
I think so, but that's okay.
Well, you
You
say
can
that.
pick up my cut.
All right, so 3 cards.
Well, the first one is the Sun. And the second one is the Queen of Pentacles reversed. Go figure, eh? And the Six of Wands is upright. That's really interesting.
So it's kind of like what I said, maybe. There are winners or losers.
There are winners and losers here in the economy, absolutely. Somebody is scoring big time on what's happening in the economy. It could be a lot of people. I mean, let's face it, with what's going on with AI right now, too, so many companies have been laying people off and, and no doubt, enjoying some extra money in corporate executives' pockets. And so I feel here there's much to be gained by some people. And, they're all supporting each other in this, I feel, too. And then there are people who are struggling. Those that are losing their jobs and wondering where their next job is going to be if AI is going to truly take over everything. And the Sun is indicating success. Obviously, that can't be true for everybody right now. There's a lot of people hurting right now. So I do feel like Mr. O said, this is a divided thing here. And this Queen of Pentacles is in the middle. And so I feel here, yes, there is some real loss going on here. However, it's made to look like everything is going to get better, everything is on the right track, and that we're heading towards victory. So
Right.
What is the truth? It's hard to discern the truth.
The truth is
almost.
different for different people.
Yeah.
And that's really what it comes down to. And I remember somebody who we used to know many years ago, I won't mention her name, but they had lived through the Depression, or at least as a child, they were coming out of it. And they said the Depression was not so bad. We're talking about the 20s and 30s, if you had a job. If you didn't have a job, it was really bad because you had no source. But as long as you had some kind of source of something, you could probably eke by. It wasn't the greatest. And, many of us ourselves knew this from people we knew who went through that. Times were rough. And that's what this may be like now, too. Times are rough, but not for everyone.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so I guess that was more simple than I thought it would be, in a way. But
Well, in a way, maybe it doesn't
truth.
give us enough, but
It's a simple truth.
let's move on. Let's move on to question 3, which is, what is the current temperature of the people in the U.S.? Are we becoming more feverish, meaning more divided than ever? Or are we cooling down with more people coming together about some of the issues that we're collectively facing? And then we're going to throw an extra card for what is or can help bring things down to a healthy temperature. So I'll shuffle first, and I'll get to you to cut. And we're going to do 2 cards for each, whether it's hot or cold. 1 card for what might be helpful here, or what has helped. I have these gloves on. They're not that easy to shuffle with, but my arthritis in one of my fingers is flaring up. Whoop, whoop, whoop. All right. Did I do this wrong again? I guess I am picking up your... Wait, I cut it
Nope,
for you.
we did it the right way this time, where we alternated.
All right.
So you could do it for the next one again if you want, or we can just alternate for the next two. Either way.
All right, Bly. I'm going to set you down for a minute.
Here we go.
Okay. Well, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do here. I'm going to lay out cards on their back. Is that in the picture? Well, kind of glary. There. And there. And there. And, well, we'll put you to the side.
I guess.
We'll keep you as an outlier there. All right. So first off, are we becoming more feverish? Let's take a look at these two cards. We have the Queen of Cups upright. That's promising. Wow, and look at that, and the Page of Pentacles upright. Well, I do think what may be happening is that some of us are starting to work more together, on the common issues that we face. Some of them are economic, obviously, and some of them are, things that grab at your heart. I think in terms of, there are people out there who do not like the way ICE is operating, above the law and just grabbing people without due process, throwing them into facilities. It grabs people's hearts. And I don't care, on both sides of the aisle. And so there is that. And then here, there are people that are coming together on the more economic concerns because everybody is being affected by that. Prices are not going down. Prices are going up. We are worried about our investments because the stock market and the war. We're worried about the oil and, whether our manufacturing and other processes are going to be affected by all the craziness going on.
Well, I don't want to be too conspiratorial, but we are dealing with situations where sometimes when there's oppression in the society, the media view is everything should look great, though. And so, to some degree, this could reflect that. But I think it's more what Banshee says, really, that we are finding a way to make communities ourselves. The Queen of Cups could be said to be that, a leader who has people's, best interest at heart. The Page Knight.
Page of Pentacles.
The Page of Pentacles talks about finding new ways to invigorate learning, philosophy, or doing things. So these are good partners, these energies together to try to create, a sense of a new idea, a new way for a community to express itself or for the expression itself.
So I kind of like this because I think, some people who maybe have been thinking, oh, they can't do that, they're not going to do that when they continually do things that are wrong in our government, are starting to see the light here on one side of the aisle. And on the other side of the aisle, they may be thinking to themselves, they may be becoming more grounded in reality and getting their, some people get very emotional about certain things like immigration, the hot button issues, crime, all these things. But maybe some more people are starting to balance their emotions and think more practically about where things are headed and if things are being done in an appropriate way.
I liked what you said about the other side of the aisle because I think this is a do or die moment, and that people realize they may have to do things for themselves, that we may not be getting what we need from our elected leaders on either side.
Right, sure. So it could be, the push for third parties as well. We see a lot of discontent. And hey, it's not just like, MAGA falling apart. We've seen that there have been rifts in MAGA, but it's also in the Democratic Party. People who do not believe they're being served appropriately by the leaders in the party. So, and the questions are framed that way. The questions are framed to say, are we coming together, all of us, or are we dividing more? So let's see what this other part says. So
this was about whether things are getting hotter.
And it says no.
And it says no.
So let's see about cooling down more and see what it says. Because I have some thoughts there depending on which way it goes. And look at that. The Three of Pentacles is reversed. Boy, do I have something to say about this. And the Six of Swords is upright. This is so awesome. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. I like what you're going to do.
Are you doing it? Because the Three of Pentacles is saying, okay, are we cooling down? Maybe, but the problem exists that we still don't know how to work together with each other constructively. Each side does not trust each other. When I look at things on social media, I see that. I see that, can I ever trust a Republican again? Can I ever, those Dems are evil. They're just evil. And so when you hold those kind of mindsets, it's kind of hard to constructively get over that and work together. But that's what we need to do. So in order for things to cool down to the point of being helpful, people have to move themselves to a better, more tranquil way of working with one another, accepting that we're going to have differences of opinions, but that we can still reach common ground and work together.
It's kind of like they have to figure out how to work together because there is a goal that won't happen unless you do that. That goal is moving to somewhere less troublesome. And so all hands on deck. You need, I hate to use all those metaphors, but if you want to move to a different shore, you have to have all hands on deck.
So what can bring things down to a healthier temperature? And it's the Eight of Swords reversed.
Wow.
Well, I think what brings things down to a temperature is to be brave, be bold, not be trapped by limited thinking, but to broaden, to be willing to step outside your comfort zone and, be willing to work with others to turn this trajectory around.
Right. This is the metaphor, I guess, or whatever, breaking out of the complacency that has taken hold, that a lot of people keep thinking like, who's going to save us? Who's going to save us? We have to figure it out.
We have to save ourselves. All right, wow, that was pretty wild. What about the brain fog? That's our next question.
All right.
And no, it's not a certain person's brain fog. What this is about is, you shuffle first this time?
Uh-huh.
Are we the people being given confusing or false information and data by our leaders in order to manipulate us, public opinion, and the reasons why or why not?
And this is regarding several issues.
And so actually we have to kind of throw a second card for each of these, so it's going to tell us whether it's yes or no. And then why or why not. We might get that from one card. We might get that from the card.
So we'll flex on that.
Did you cut them? Because I shuffled.
Yet.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry. So there are 4 things we are looking at here, and we'll go through them one by one as we do them. We might just do it with one card. If we need a qualifying card, we'll throw it.
Sounds good. And by the way, we would love it if you folks out there thought maybe there was a WTF that you think's important enough and it's just not on our radar, or maybe you want to just bring out the dialogue for that. Feel free to give us a jingle here on this video. Leave a comment. You can write us at our Gmail. That's TFT, Tarot for Today, one word, at gmail.com.
Okay. So, again, are people being given confusing false information or data by our leaders to manipulate us, to garner better public opinion? The reasons why or why not. And we're starting with the Iran war. And we've got the Queen of Wands reversed. Well, I would have to say that they are hiding something. You know, the Queen of Wands, when she's reversed, is kind of shy. And so I would say yes, we are getting misleading information on the war. A lot of people speculate that there's more casualties. You know, we're just learning about more damage we hadn't heard about before and how much money we have lost in this war. And the thing is that but if it was casualties, I really can't imagine families are covering this up. They haven't told families that their loved ones are in the hospital or dead. I mean, this is stretching me a bit, but I can't rule it out.
I put nothing past them in terms of even threatening for national security reasons or guilting families that they have to do this. But to me, I think when I look at that card, I think this is saying those normally brave, confident, noble ideas about the Queen of Wands, yeah, she's a little provocative. This is sort of saying it ain't there. This is sort of saying like you're playing dumb or you truly don't have any confidence in yourself. You only have a dumb sense about it.
And you know what else? I love what you said there because you know what else? They talk tough. They talk tough like they are winning, but I'm not so sure that's true according to the Queen of Wands.
They're possibly a bully who will easily wilt.
So I don't think we're getting the full information here at all.
All right. So, how about the next issue?
Regarding the Correspondence Dinner shooting, so many conspiracies out there. Clearly something happened, but there's just a whole lot of bizarreness to this, and I can't fault people for being, for questioning it. I have questions, but I'm not saying it didn't happen because it certainly did happen. But look at that! Oh my gosh,
the moon reversed.
So does that mean yes, we have all the facts, or does that mean more facts will be coming out? I think more facts will be coming out.
Yeah. The moon reversed is usually something being revealed, and there's always that sense that it was something that somebody didn't want revealed or something you really need to know.
So, I mean, it could be yes or no. They may not be covering anything up, but one way or another, more facts are going to be revealed so that we can maybe hopefully make a better determination. So stay tuned, people, on this one.
Whoa. So the next one then. Are they giving us all the facts about the president's health?
Well, it's a Two of Swords reversed.
Somebody's thinking about something.
They're giving, well, yeah. I think they've made decisions on this, and they're giving us information. And they may not be truthful. They may not be telling us everything. I think what well, go ahead.
There's a neutral quality here, and one almost wonders if maybe they're doing what suits their purposes. It's an action based on the information or protocols they have. I don't want to attach dastardly deeds to it, but there's a sense that this could be true.
There's a sense it could be true. There's a sense it's not. It's a duality thing. So whatever the case is, they take action on this when they need to. They put out health information when they need to. But is it accurate or is it meeting their own agenda? Maybe we need the qualifying card for this one. Maybe, and for that, I'm going to the bottom.
I was going to suggest that before. All righty.
It's the Eight of Pentacles.
Which is upright.
Yeah. Which is interesting. So I kind of feel here, sorry about that, let me get that over there. I kind of feel here that they feel like they're doing the work they have to do on this. They feel like they are. So I'm not sure if we're getting the truth or not. There's lots of speculation here. What?
Because of the duality angle of the Two of Swords there, I think that represents that there is an equation towards doing things in the accepted manner that they know things work, but that does imply that maybe there is that other side of things just sort of happening surreptitiously or secretly that we don't know about and possibly can't know about.
Maybe they're only giving out the information they feel they have to, that is required. Yeah. So they do that work, but, it's hard to say here too.
All right. How about the last one? Regarding ICE's mission in all the detention centers, are we hearing really what's truthful here, or is there misinformation?
Well, it's the Knight of Pentacles upright, and he's a pretty responsible guy. I think we're not getting misinformation per se. I think they're slowing things down, though, for some reasons, that maybe to try to give people a sense that we're not going overboard. No, we're doing this practically, responsibly. That's what they're telling us. But we have seen ICE act very irresponsibly, and that it seems like they approve of that. Nobody is getting, prosecuted on the federal level or necessarily fired for what they do. Sure, they moved that one guy out of Chicago, Bovino, or Minneapolis, and moved him back to LA, and he resigned or retired or whatever, but that doesn't sound like they're really being accountable here.
Patience is one of the ideas behind this card, and I think that's their idea, is they feel time is on their side, and that the idea also with that Knight is that things are stabilizing. So they sort of feel time's on their side, and in the long run, they stabilize things, and people will accept this. People will become more complacent, and I'm reading a lot of articles about that.
Well, let's look at this too another way. He's very responsible, and you know what? They just came out with something that Trump, I can't believe he cooked it up, but maybe he did. He wants to call ICE nice. National, immigration enforcement. And so making them look nice. And the picture that came out looking like he's so gentle with a child, this is not what we have been seeing. No. This is not what people have been witnessing firsthand. And so they're trying, I do feel here, even though this is a positive card, it's indicating the fact that they are kind of manipulating it to make us believe they're doing things in a good manner. Wow. I don't like to go that way when I see a positive card, but I almost feel that, especially since that ad campaign just came out. It seems crazy to me, but they are really trying. Now, if only they would back up nice with enforcing immigration nicely. When I see that, I may think otherwise.
All right.
So
our final question will be similar and has 4 cards to pull. And we got a few minutes to try to finish that up.
And it's only 1 card.
All right. Is it you
we'll
or me?
Be fine if we're a little behind. Yeah, okay.
And the basic idea, is there any cure for what ails us as a nation?
And we look at 4 possible places this cure can come from. And I'm sure there's more.
Did you hear that old John Lennon song, Power to the People? No, I don't hear it.
Here you go, Mr. O.
I wonder what people like that would think. I wonder what people like Martin Luther King would think. I wonder what people like anyone who wanted human rights and civil rights for people.
So is there any cure for what ails us as a nation? And the first one is going to be possible actions taken by our inactive Congress. It seems to have rubber-stamped everything, even though there's a lot of grumbling under the surface about what's going on in various areas. Not just the Iran war, but other aspects, what's going on with the economy, how they're reshaping government, all of that.
All right.
Okay, possible actions by Congress. Well, what's the Knight of Swords upright? They need to take action, right? They need to take action, direct action at some of the things that really trouble and bother them. They need to stand up for what's right. And frankly, maybe that's what's going on here. Maybe that's why they're inactive, because a lot of them feel that what's going on right now is the righteous path.
So there's a lot to be said when this card shows up for this position, because this is saying the direct action, the direct, positive, brave, noble, confident, full speed ahead action of the night would be what Congress should be doing somehow, some way.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. I agree. So it's interesting to me. They need to do more, and we do see grumblings from time to time, and actually some action, but they need to do more. What about the courts? Possible actions by the courts. And I'm surprised that card didn't come up for that. But it's another sword card. Oh my gosh.
It's the king, isn't it?
It's the King of Swords reversed. Reversed this time. So,
well, maybe it means they need to get medieval on the situation.
That could be.
But there's another way of looking at it.
There is another way of looking at it. They need to stop being manipulated by the powers that be. The Supreme Court has been accused of, be leaning heavily towards whatever the person in the White House wants, rather than doing what's right legally. They need to follow. This is the cure. They need to follow the rule of law instead of ignoring it or inventing new ones or circumnavigating around it.
In the context of this question, that King of Swords reverse can only mean that they are cowed by the forces around them, and they are not actually making decisions in the name of actual justice. They are making decisions that maybe are more based on want.
And I wonder if the problem lies with Chief Justice Roberts. I wonder here if it's because of him that he's not directing the court to look at things properly. I mean, I don't know, Supreme Court leaders' role here in steering the legislation and how it is handled, but it seems like to me it could indicate too that he's not doing his job.
Right. The King of Swords would normally be kind of an avatar of justice or of judgment,
Or injustice in this case.
The sense of being, totally down with it.
Yeah.
And we're not getting that.
Okay, possible actions taken by the cabinet.
Don't make me laugh.
I know.
Oh, it will.
Oh my gosh, it's the Nine of Cups reversed.
Is it really?
Yes. 9.
Dream on is dream for your wish. Wish in one hand and you know what in the other, like my mom used to say.
I think some of them wish that they could turn this around, but they realize they're outnumbered. I feel that. But I also feel with this card that that doing anything to cure or change the trajectory of what's going on goes against what they're trying to manifest.
Yes. So that doesn't sound very nice at all.
No, it does not.
All right.
And so possible actions taken by we, the people.
Let's start singing that again. Power. No. No, don't make me cry.
It's the moon upright.
Oh.
Well, there's a couple of things here, but one is not good.
I'll say.
We are living in a state of fear and uncertainty, and it's handicapping us from taking any real decisive action.
This is the moon, by the way.
Yes.
I didn't know if we said it was the moon.
I did.
Oh, okay, sorry.
I said it's the moon and upright. I thought I did.
Okay,
so
I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
I didn't, it's the moon and upright. But I think I did. So here it is. And I feel here that intuitively, we know this is horribly wrong. But the problem is that we're afraid to do anything constructive about it. Want to go on a general strike? Well, you're afraid you're going to be fired or maybe grabbed up and put in a detention facility. Want to do something else? Fight for change in voting? Well, you might even be afraid to vote with the way things are going for the candidate of your choice because they're instilling fear and, that they're going to clamp down and they're going to try to limit people from doing that. So all this uncertainty is paralyzing.
So the possible actions taken by the people could also represent the idea that they have to do things very covertly, very secretly. They cannot necessarily reveal to just anybody. So in other words, it still goes to the idea of the paranoia that, and when you read, famous novelizations or stories about, World War II and living under Hitler in the Nazi era, people being hidden in other people's closets or secret rooms. It was a very paranoid time, and that's could possibly come back to us. The people realize that and realize that things will have to be very, very hidden.
Well, that's a really good point. I also feel, too, that, all this uncertainty tends to band us all together. So what do? We have no King's Day protests where millions of people have the lack of fear to get together all at once like that and show their strength. There is strength in numbers, but the problem is that it's passive. It's passive. We're not getting anywhere by doing this. Hopefully, though, if nothing else, it may be turning hearts and minds around, right?
Somebody told me that the difference between our country and, say, a country like France is that they get out and protest every day until their government changes. Yeah. And we don't have the ability or the capacity to do that. Partially, it's because of the way everything is structured in terms of compensation work experiences. But it is hopeful. There are situations now where they are trying to do the protests more often, going to ICE detention centers every Saturday of the month, or at least one Saturday of the month consistently, things like that. And it's going to take consistent action. People only changed the Vietnam War after at least 5 years or more of actual constant protests and actions.
So I would say this about, the overall question, do we still have a healthy functioning democracy, or is it on life support? Well, I don't know if it's as bad as life support, but I would say that we are chronically ill at this time. And there doesn't seem to be a good solution.
There was always this kind of barometer question that, most Americans were like 1 to 3 paychecks from being evicted or from having a serious financial issue. And so maybe not in terms of that actual financial stuff. That's what it is. We are on a very short lease away from things really being irrecoverable, perhaps.
Well, some things are a little more clear-cut in here than others, but
Sure.
That's what we have for everybody as far as this goes for now. Who knows? We may have to look at this again sometime in the future. So hang in there. We welcome feedback that is constructive. If you don't like it, just move on. And, or if you have some constructive criticism, we'd love to hear it. And we want to thank you for checking out the video. So take care, everybody, until we come up with another WTF. We hope to see you at our other shows soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye for now.